Is there even a week that goes by when somebody doesn't say, I know you. You were in the Olympics. You're Terin Humphrey.
It wasn't too bad. Right after the Olympics, I went straight to school. So I kind of steered away from Missouri for about 4 years, came back. I'm in the Raymore Police Department now. They did a big Kansas City Star did a story on me. So within the first year being a police officer, I'd have people come up and like, hey, you're Terin Humphrey. So that's been kind of crazy, but yeah, people still recognize me.
How do you handle that?
Well, when I'm trying to work, it's a little frustrating, but it's not too bad.
You've always been the small town girl, born in St. Joe, you lived in Bates City, you went to school in Odessa, you trained in the big city, Blue Springs, and then you landed in Raymore. Why is that your comfort zone, kind of off of the beaten path?
I love Raymore. Raymore, it's not too busy, it's not too crazy. It's just a comfortable city to be in. I live there, I work there, so it's very comfortable.
There's an adorable picture of you when you're two or three on a balance beam. The only time that 3.9-inch beam looks wide
big,
is when a toddler's on it. Well, what was it about the sport of gymnastics that really just grabbed you at the beginning?
You know, being that young, you don't know what you want. My mom said either gymnastics, and my dad was like, well, we'll go with gymnastics because we don't want ice skating or anything sissy in our family. So I just stuck with it, and just my hard work, it paid off, and I ended up being really good at it. So that's why I stayed in it.
Did you know at a pretty early point that gymnastics was going to be this powerful force in your world?
I didn't know. My mom said she could just see it in my eyes, the hard work and just my dedication to the sport. I didn't know until I was about 9, till, my coach Al Fong was like, you have something, that nobody else has. You're a really hard worker. You can do anything I ask you to do. This Olympic dream could be a possibility.
What was it about the competition that really got you going, that rush? I mean, when you compete in gymnastics, you're on the bars for 60 seconds and on the beam for like 90 seconds. So you've got all this pressure. You've got to be really good in this small slice of time.
Right. I love it. I love competitions. I love going out there, showing off, and dancing in front of people. Just the adrenaline rush is amazing, and that's why I stayed in it so long.
I don't want to make you out to be a child star like Lindsay Lohan or Michael Jackson. But at a really early age, I mean, you're in the gym 35, 40 hours a week, and all of the people who are your friends, same age, they're fishing or playing with dolls or doing whatever. Were you ever resentful about, I'm missing out on this stuff?
I was, I never thought I missed out on anything. I would always go to football games on Friday nights. I didn't go to a lot of dances, and that was okay with me. Gymnastics was my dream, it was my life, and my ultimate goal was to go to the Olympics, and I would do anything I could just to do that. I can do stuff like that now. I just got back from Cancun, so I did the vacation thing with my parents, and went on that family vacation that I missed when I was training.
In gymnastics, there's such a rush to get there. The window is so small, especially for the girls. 12-year-old, you're at the Junior Nationals, Junior Olympic Nationals. There's this fast track to get there. Did you see other girls that might have been more talented, but they weren't as determined to you? They were not going to work as hard as you. Why did you make it?
Definitely. I was never the most talented, but my work ethic, I always do more numbers than everybody did in the gym. I knew what my weaknesses were, so I wanted to train on that and make them into a positive, and just many, many hours of hard work and just trying to listen to what my coach said over and over and day after day.
Al Fong has a good reputation locally and nationally. Of course, Great American out in Blue Springs has been there forever. Part of the upgrades probably have to do with your success in the Olympics, right? The fact that it's nicer now and you did well, that helped?
Every gymnast wants to go to the Olympics, and they know that Al Fong is the place to go.
Courtney McCool trained with you there. Did it help having somebody else at the same time going through the same thing, a Kansas City girl that was on that team in 2004?
Courtney was definitely my rival. I am so glad that she is there. We butted heads every once in a while, but she pushed me. She lit, that match under me and got me to work extra hard.
So it was a good thing.
It was definitely a good thing.
If you're going to go to the Olympics, why not Greece? I mean, this is, talk about
Right.
great destinations for the Olympics, and it had been more than 100 years between,
Right.
1896, 2004. I mean, you were young, you were a teenager, but did you have a grip on the history, what it meant to have that competition in Athens?
Honestly, it was a little bit, but I wasn't even concentrating on that. I didn't even think about any of that until, you know, it came out in the newspapers that, wow, you're going to Greece. That is so awesome. I'm like, no, I'm going for me. I'm going for the Olympics. That's what I'm going for.
2004 women's gymnastics in Athens. Romania gets the gold, U.S. gets the silver. We never really get a chance in a competition setting like that to see any kind of an interaction between the countries.
Right.
Did you know the girls at a personal level on the other team? Were there some you really liked, some that you really just couldn't stand?
We didn't know each other on a personal level. We go there, we see them maybe 3 times a year competing internationally. We say hi, that's it. A language barrier had a lot to do with it. But my favorite gymnast was Svetlana Korkina. She was known as, you know, the diva. But in the gymnastics light, she definitely was a diva. But on a personal level, she was the nicest person that was out there. And she has so many skills named after her. It was just an honor to be out there competing with her.
You still stay in contact?
I do not, know.
Hope Solo talked about all the shenanigans that go on in the Olympic Village, things that the IOC probably, like, don't say that kind of stuff. She called it a frat party with a really good gene pool. Did you see that in Athens?
Absolutely not. Girls gymnastics is very, very strict. We had a coach staying with us the entire time. Obviously, we're 16 and 18 years old. We didn't do anything like that. We barely had a TV. We went and bought a TV like maybe the last couple days just so we could watch the men competing on the day before us. But, you know, it was all about training. We trained 2-a-days, went and ate at the village, and went back to bed. That's all we did.
It was truly tunnel vision.
It was definitely tunnel vision. I think we were a little bit off that night. It was definitely bittersweet getting the silver. We all were expecting gold. Everybody, we were not the underdogs. We were the team to beat.
Did you ever consider writing a book, My Road to the U.S. Gymnastics Hall of Fame? Or I had a line for you. It could be Teenager in Greece, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. Because, I mean, it was August.
That's a good one.
You were
How
a teenager.
about you write one for me?
Yeah. I'll write the foreword.
You write it, I'll read it.
Is there a book out there?
There was some talk about it, but I just got so busy with, you know, my full-time job being a police officer, my part-time job being the athlete rep and on the selection committee, so I travel all the time. So I guess I just kind of slipped my mind a little bit.
When KU won the basketball championship in 2008, Bill Self always talked about, and he was serious, we think. I watched the tape of the championship game at night. It was his bedtime story. You know, his wife rolls eyes, you know, stick in the tape. Great story for him. Happy ending. He just loved it after winning it all. When's the last time you watched your performance on the uneven bars?
I had to do a speech this past, I guess it was in May. So I hadn't watched any of my videos for a few months, and I went back and watched them, and I kind of amazed myself. I'm like, wow, I did all that? I can do that? So yeah, it's crazy seeing what I was able to do. I have a skill named after me that nobody else in the world has done it. So
which is what?
It's called the Humphrey. It's a triple turn on beam. So, you know, nobody's done it, and it's just kind of crazy what these girls go through. They work so hard just to get their coach's attention and America's attention.
So where was that born? In a gym one morning with Al Fong at 6:30, and you said, hey coach, watch what I can do. I can do this 3 times.
No, my coach, it was really funny. We were starting practice. She comes over, kind of helps us out, and she goes, I have a skill for you, Terin. And I'm kind of like, okay, Armin, what is it this time? And she just told me about it, and I was like, I think we can make that possible. She goes, it came to me in a dream, and I knew that you would do it. So
there it was.
There it was.
Team USA was good that year. And I mean, you had momentum going in. You'd won Worlds the year before. The U.S. had never done that.
Right.
Is silver, team-wise, where you should have been?
No, I think we were a little bit off that night. It was definitely bittersweet getting the silver. We all were expecting gold. Everybody, we were not the underdogs. We were the team to beat. So when we had a little falters here and there, it kind of hit home a little bit. But anybody is so lucky to be in the Olympics. You know, at that time it was 6 girls every 4 years get to be in the Olympics. So just being there was a dream come true.
Individual silver, team silver. I think a lot of people thought you were going to retire, that was going to be it. Because
I was hoping to retire.
Well, I mean, you could have. And so you go to college at Alabama, great reputation, national power. No offense to the SEC, but you know, you have a duel in Auburn, there's 1,000 people there. You've been to the Olympics,
Right.
There's people all over the planet, 200 countries watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it make sense for you to go ahead and try to compete 4 more years at the NCAA level?
Basically, when you're in gymnastics, you can either go pro or get a scholarship. You know, I didn't feel like I would make enough money to go pro and just continue doing gymnastics on the elite level. I thought an education at a 5-year education at a top school like that would be a better fit for me. I obviously wanted to stop doing gymnastics, so it was kind of a hard decision. I got there and my name and my face was all over billboards, and it kind of hit me in the heart. I'm like, no, I just want to have fun. I don't want this pressure anymore. But in the end, it was definitely the best decision.
But you never could escape being Terin Humphrey.
No, it was everywhere.
The timing was good in that you graduate from high school in the spring, and then August, you're in Athens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you couldn't have really come up with a better timeline the way it played out.
Right. I kind of feel sorry for Courtney. She had to go actually back to high school and to train and do all that still so she could go to school. Luckily, I got to compete, take a half a year off of school, tour the city, and then go straight to school. So that was definitely great timing. I don't know how it happened. It probably doesn't happen that often, but it was perfect.
Your body had taken a beating, and all of the
Definitely.
training that, I mean, from what would you say the beginning was for you really intensely training? At what age?
Probably when I was about 9, when I switched to Al's gym. I upped my training hours and the days and everything. And gymnastics is a very hard sport on your body. When you're growing, your muscles are just constantly taking a beating. After a while, it takes its toll.
So you're national champ your freshman year individually on the bars. You end up having surgery on both elbows. After that year, you come back, junior year, you win another individual title, 10-time All-American along the way. Senior year, your back's killing you, absolutely killing you. And your coach is saying things like, yeah, we think we can get her through this.
Right.
I'm thinking, come on, man.
You know,
there's no way.
There comes a time where you gotta just know when you're done. After that, I kind of knew I was done. I told Sarah, you know, I've put 20 years into gymnastics. I just can't do it anymore. You know, gymnastics is my heart and soul, but I just can't be here anymore. And she still wanted me to go in and kind of help the girls through it, but just seeing everybody else compete and me not kind of hurt way worse.
So you had 2 elbow surgeries. I mean,
I had 4 total.
At the same time?
Same
I mean,
time, yeah.
you're like in casts along like this? You couldn't do your homework?
Yes, I was. They wanted me to do it at the same time so I'd heal faster. They put me in slings, so my poor father had to come and feed me and kind of dress me, and he's like, I don't know how to do hair. I'll just pay for your hair to get done. My best friend at the time, she came and she helped me get ready in the morning and feed me, and I felt so helpless, but it was a quick recovery. The first surgery I recovered in probably 2 weeks. I was doing stuff, which probably wasn't the best idea, but after the second surgeries kind of got me a little bit more. I didn't do the rehab like I was supposed to, and it was just an ongoing issue.
What is it about that joint, the elbows? I know with the vault, when you're flying down and
Yeah.
then you hit it and then fly over, but is it just the constant stress on those joints?
I'm guessing that's what it is. You know, every sport, even though there's two leg sports, you still have to be on your hands. So, and just training with your arms constantly, I guess that's why.
About an hour from now, you'll be having a nice massage. Is that a pleasure
I
or a necessity?
No, I try to get massages about once a month, and even though I don't do stuff anymore, your body is still, still gymnast at heart, so still aches and pains.
26, so do you feel like, you have...
I feel like an old woman. Everybody laughs at me, but when you have 20 years under your belt with a hard, brutal sport, it takes its toll.
Was it worth it?
It was definitely worth it. I wouldn't change anything. People, they go in thinking, oh, I got this, and I end up beating all the boys, everybody in my class with 107 push-ups in a minute. I beat everybody physically, so they kind of backed down a little bit.
Along the way, you received SEC academic honors twice. You graduated in 4 years. Congratulations on that. Criminal justice.
Lots of summer school.
Was your major. That's okay. A lot of athletes do that. What was it about criminal justice where that seemed like it might pique your interest on getting into law enforcement?
To me, criminal justice was just easier than everything else. So at the time, I was going for trying to get through school, trying to, make it easier on my life. But I ended up loving it. So ultimately, I wanted to do forensics. So I tried out, when I graduated, I moved back to Missouri, and I worked at a forensic lab for about 6 months. And I absolutely hated it. It was the worst job.
Why?
I had to stare in the microscope for hours and hours, and it was giving me headaches. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. I wanted more action and to be out, on the street doing stuff.
So CSI Miami, we really can't believe that part.
No.
On being that thrilling.
No, but it was a good experience, and I'm really glad I did it.
Your brother was a Marine, Semper Fi, and a police officer.
Yeah, actually my brother got me into police work. He was in the Marines, and he came back and he's like, oh, I'm going to be a cop. I'm going to do all this. And I was like, well, not me, because I've had, so many speeding tickets. It's unbelievable. And he's like, no, we need females. We need really good females out there. And I kind of laughed at him. I'm like, I don't like cops. I still get tickets. It sucks. But I ended up going to the academy, and I was the first hired out of my class, and I ended up loving it. And I've been there 3 years.
Now you can drive fast, just turn on the lights?
I can. Now I get to drive fast and not get tickets. So.
How did people initially react to you at the academy? I mean, pound for pound,
Right.
you're going to be the toughest one there.
Right.
But they look at you and they're like, okay,
Oh, I
she's
love it.
she's 107 pounds with her boots on, right?
Soaking wet.
Soaking wet.
It was nice actually, because people, they go in thinking, oh, I got this, and I ended up beating all the boys, everybody in my class with 107 push-ups in a minute. I beat everybody physically, so they kind of backed down a little bit.
So for you, everything in life is a competition.
Definitely, that's how you make it. That's how you become successful.
3 years as a police officer in Raymore. What's the next level, phase, challenge for you in that line of work?
I'm hoping to be a patrol officer for a couple more years and then apply for the detective unit, and I want to do that for a little while. Right now I'm still on the Olympic committee, so I'm going to do that. I don't want to overwhelm myself with too much, so I'm going to take it slow.
What is it about police work after 3 years in it that makes you think you made the right call?
It's just the thrill, waking up every day not knowing what's going to happen. We go from so many different calls, you just don't know. People expect you to know every answer because you're the police officer, you know all the laws, but we don't have all the answers. Keeps us on our toes, and it's different every day. When we're not out taking calls, we can do traffic, and it's just different.
Now, your brother likes to be the first one in a house, right? That's the Marine part
My
of him that
brother
comes out.
is completely serious about his job. He's on SWAT. He does boot camp. He's the first one in that house, and I don't get it. But, he's like me. You got to do what you got to do.
Athletes can't go cold turkey without competition if they're physically able. How do you get that thrill?
I'll stop you there. Our year, we actually had to compete cold turkey. We weren't allowed to warm up. And so many gymnasts were getting hurt.
In '04?
In '04, yeah.
Why?
You could go like warm up in the back, do what you needed to do, but I guess for TV purposes, they wanted to hurry up. So we weren't allowed to warm up. So many gymnasts were getting hurt, so they went back to the 30-second touch.
So mentally, how did you tell yourself it's going to be okay? You are warmed up. You're ready. You're ready to go. You're fine.
Training. Just you trained. My coach would come in and he'd be like, okay, stretch. Let's do routines. So you'd stretch and go straight to do a routine and just kind of figure out how to kind of compete when you're cold.
Chief Zimmerman says you're a good officer, work well with others in the department and the community, a pleasure to be around. She also said that there's something about the American Ninja Warrior that I needed to ask you about, which if you've never seen it, this is year 5. There's this obstacle course that ripped athletes, just unbelievably trained people can't get through.
Right.
And that was appealing to you for what reason?
No, I actually, I got a call from my friend Steve, and he goes, hey, I told the producer about you. You're going to do it. You're going to do American Ninja Warrior. And I'm like, what's that? And so I YouTubed it, and I was like, okay, I might try to do that. But at the time, I hadn't been working out as much. And I was like, you know what? This is awesome. This is going to be a great challenge. I'm going to get in shape again and just work out. And I ended up going to Denver. It was awesome. I'm glad I went. It was definitely a different competition.
Was it harder than you thought it was going to be?
It wasn't.
I mean, how do you get ready for that? There's this long, what looks like greased log that I can't tell if it's spinning or not. But you've got to get
around there.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to train. My goal was to just get in shape and just go with the flow. When I tried to watch it on YouTube, I'd get really nervous, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm just going to wing it. So my goal was just get in shape and go there and just take my time, not worry about time.
You've been involved in gymnastics for a long time and really stayed in it, at different levels. What are you doing now with the sport that makes you feel like you're still attached? I mean, I'm sure as a Hall of Famer, as a silver medalist, team individual, they want you, somebody who's still very recognizable in the sport, to be involved.
Well, my main thing with gymnastics is I'm the athlete rep, which I'm the voice of the athletes, so I travel with them. I'm there if they need me. I help pick who competes at Worlds and who competes at the Olympics. So I was involved with the 2012 team that did awesome. I still work gymnastics camps around the world, so next week I'll be in Florida. I still coach, so I do like choreography and I'm being coach and stuff like that whenever I have time.
2012, what, Fierce 5, whatever there's always some kind of a cute phrase.
Right.
When you watch those girls and you're huddled in your little group that nobody else can hear, were you saying, okay, we're taking her. Those 5 have to go. They are by far the best 5.
Absolutely. A lot of people think that Marta Caroli is the boss of everybody, and what she says go, what she says, that's how it's going to be. But it's not like that at all. It's 3 of us, me, Steve, and Marta, and we just sit around and we talk about each girl individually and how they're an asset to our team. So it's not like we just go, okay, I like you, I want her. We go to meets, we go to camps throughout the year. So we know, if they have a bad meet, it's okay. They've had a bad meet, but this is how she came up. So that's how it is. We, come together as a group. It's not just one person picking.
You fight about, hey, I'm telling you. You say no, I say yes.
I think
say yes means yes.
One meeting, I threw a Terin Humphrey fit and just threw papers. I'm like, no, we're picking this person. And I think they agreed after that. So.
How long have you been having fits?
They only come out every once in a while. It's not all the time.
You've done a lot. You're 26.
Right.
And so you've got all this time in front of you. Is there a bucket list for you, things that you have to get done, whether it's by the age of 30, 50, 90, whatever?
I actually did have a bucket list, but one was to go to vacation, go to Cancun, swim with the dolphins, and I crossed 2 things off my list there. So it's more like relaxing stuff for me because I'm so on the go. I need my time. So that's what my bucket list is, more vacation.
So when you're in Cancun in a swimsuit and somebody sees the Olympic rings on your back and they say, "Why do you have the Olympic rings on your back?" Do you tell them why?
Sometimes.
Do they ask?
A lot of times I ask. It's so faded now. It's been 10 years.
Yeah. They can touch them up.
Yeah, well, I'm getting it touched up. So sometimes people locally that I went to high school with, they obviously know. So it's not as bad. But when you go out and you constantly get asked, I'm like, man, why did I get that? But you know, it's a dream to go to the Olympics, so I can't be too upset.
When's the last time you had those 2 medals around your neck and just stood in front of a full-length mirror and just stared at yourself? Because, I mean, you earned them.
I did. I don't ever just put my medals on and stare at the mirror, but I could. I have the option. But no, it's just nice to look at them every once in a while and be like, wow, this is an Olympic medal. How many people actually get this? So.
Not that many.
Not that many.
Terin, thanks for the conversation.
Thanks for having me.